Wow. What a match at the Spotify Camp Nou. And what a performance from Mo Salah, the super sub. A historic hat-trick. Let's get into it, guys. Napoli simply cannot be stopped. As per usual, they are slapping up teams named Ajax, as Napoli have beaten them 4-2 this week, meaning they put 10 goals past Ajax in just 2 matches. That is something, isn't it? That's really impressive. The first goal was a beauty, making Ajax's backline look quite pedestrian as Lozano coasted through and flicked a header past Pasveer. 10 minutes later, the exciting duo of Kvaratskhelia and Raspadori linked up. Good run from Kvara and a stunning finish from Raspadori into that top corner. He's looking good, isn't he, the young Italian? While Klaassen did pull one back, Kvara converted a penalty, Bergwijn converted a penalty, and Osimhen finally got his just dues at the end with an ugly goal. Blind dwelling on the ball a little bit for Osimhen to take it right off of his boot. 4-2 as Napoli continue this great run. Napoli continue to stun. And speaking of stunning, Liverpool were glimmering in the attack against Rangers. A complete capitulation at the back saw Mo Salah score a hat-trick in 6 minutes and 12 seconds, the fastest in Champions League history. Firmino was also great, Darwin scored, etc. Liverpool scored in bunches against Bournemouth as well, but teams like Rangers and Bournemouth aren't the problem for Liverpool. And those problems in defense tend to come up against much better opposition, which is what I went over in my latest video on Liverpool. Do check that out. If you do so, you'll see where they have been struggling the most and why they have been struggling there. Oh, and also the people commenting, this aged well, since I posted the video right before the win against Rangers. I mean, those people, that was a self-report. They clearly didn't watch the video. It's mostly about defending more than anything. I go through every goal that they've conceded this season. Man, the Scottish team's in the Champions League, by the way. Well, we'll get to that later after we talk about Celtic. But for now, Napoli lead with 4 wins from 4. Liverpool in second and can secure their place with a draw against Ajax in Amsterdam. Again, as we all expected, Club Brugge topping their group and securing their place in the next round with their draw against Atletico Madrid, securing their place in the next round and still not conceding a single goal, man. That is pretty impressive, isn't it? This round, they played away to Atletico, and once again, they frustrated them, but man, did Mignolet ever have to be good. He made 2 stunning saves where, yes, you could say the likes of Morata ended up striking the ball right at him, but positioning is all part of goalkeeping. So shout out to Mignolet for standing strong and in the right position. That first big save on Morata was nice. The way he cut down that angle, he literally took it on the chin, on the face. It was lovely. And again, João Felix drama, man. For all parties, sell the kid. He had a mini tantrum on the side when he wasn't brought onto the pitch. Atletico needed a goal, and Simeone went with Witsel for some reason, so I get Felix's frustration, but it's clear it will never work. He's played 29 minutes in the last 4 matches for Atleti, so they need to just let him go. I mean, Witsel fought for Griezmann when they need a goal against 10 men. It doesn't make sense to me. 0-0 the final, a massive shout out to Brugge once again. Now, Porto is taking control of their own destiny. They went away to Leverkusen and they did it again. And once again, Diogo Costa was their best player, probably. Not only the saves that he made, but the distribution from this guy is just ridiculous at times. The way he can ping a pass from his own area all the way to one of his wingers in Leverkusen's midfield, it's stunning stuff from him, an incredible keeper. The assist he got for Galeno's goal, wow. There was a lot of work to do for Galeno, but the ball from Costa was superb. Later, Leverkusen were frustrated by Demirbay having his penalty saved, of course, while Schick had a goal called back. Taremi with 2 penalties to give Porto the 3-0 win, and this group is still looking tight. Brugge through, but the rest still to be sorted in the final 2 match days. Porto goes away to Brugge, while Atletico hosts Leverkusen next. Final match day, Porto hosting Atletico. Wow. Bayern, they of course beat Victoria Plzeň. No surprises there, right? Victoria are on 0 points after all, and with Bayern putting 4 past them, they're also on negative 13 goal difference from 16 conceded. To their credit, however, after they were 4-0 down against Bayern, they put a couple in and gave their supporters something to remember. Scoring against the great Bayern Munich, that's a good memory, right? Goretzka's fine form continued for Bayern as he scored twice and set up Sadio Mane as well. Müller also scored, but unfortunately went off injured before the first half was up. 4-2 the final, Bayern are through to the next round. Inter versus Barcelona. What a match. I mean, I was doing a watch along for this one and we all had absolutely zero complaints about this match. There was a bit of deja vu for this game as the attack was still just cross from Barcelona, but where Rafinha struggles down the left, they managed to switch him with Dembele for long stretches in this game and it seemed to bear fruit. Rafinha and Sergi Roberto combined well to make it 1-0. Funnily enough, it was Dembele who got on the end of the ball in the box when the crosser meets the cross. It was similar to the last match in that Inter were happy to sit back and hit Barca on the counter, and given Piqué and Alonso were in that Barcelona back line, it was an effective tactic. No goals in the first half for Inter, but Nico Barella latched onto a Bastoni ball forward and hit it past Ter Stegen to put Inter right back into the driver's seat, and they did one better from there, as Lautaro put them ahead with a stunning strike from El Toro that kissed both posts before going in. Beautiful from Martinez. When he's in form, he is a joy to watch. During the stream, we were talking about how it felt like another game where Lewandowski wasn't going to show up, where he would be quiet, but the man showed up. He had some great fortune for the 2-2 equalizer as De Vrij, who really has fallen off recently. De Vrij failed to clear Lewandowski's first attempt with the head, and Lewandowski then smashed the ball toward goal, a deflection later, and Onana was beat. But of course, it wasn't finished there. We got to talk about the ball forward from Andre Onana for Inter's third. Great vision to see the run of Martinez. Even better execution, the way he played it forward. Stunning. And the vision and execution from Martinez was great as well, picking out the run of Robin Gosens, and the German finished smartly past an on-rushing Ter Stegen. And to complete his performance, Lewandowski leapt to head in an Eric Garcia ball into the box, and thus complete an epic night at the Spotify Camp Nou. And to think, Aslani had a chance to win it for Inter as well. However, what did that do for their chances of getting out of this group? Bayern are through, as we know, but as things stand, all Inter have to do is beat Victoria Plzeňa at home on October 26th, and they will be advancing to the knockout rounds at the expense of Barcelona and Victoria, of course. Sporting just can't keep 11 men on the pitch, can they? Of course, Adan can't be blamed this time as he's serving his suspension, but it was Esgaio who got himself sent off early in this match. He got a yellow in the 16th minute, and then in the 19th, he absolutely whiffed a clearance. Well, sorry, I apologize. He whiffed on clearing the ball, but made a ton of contact with Amin Harit for his second yellow in 3 minutes and gave away a penalty. Sporting are a mess at the back, I'm telling you. Guendouzi converted the penalty, and 10 minutes later, Harit squared it to Alexis Sanchez. Initially, it was thought that Harit was offside, but Inacio played him on. 2-0 there for Marseille, and they won by that scoreline. Not before, of course, Pedro Gonçalves got himself sent off as he was carded, and then got a second card immediately for laughing at the referee sarcastically. Sporting just wanted to beat down on the Marseille players, I guess. Complete capitulation. Marseille do the double over them. Tottenham hosted Frankfurt, and a mistake from Dyer led to Daichi Kamada eventually scoring to take the lead after just 14 minutes. A mess at the back for Tottenham. Very unselfish from Rode, however. That was smart to square it to Kamada rather than try to leather it in himself when he had a couple of players in front of him. However, Heung-min Son took the ball in his stride 5 minutes later, against the run of play to be honest, and rolled it past the keeper. Assisted by whom? Harry Kane, of course. Kane won a penalty and converted it himself, and to complete the 16-minute rout of Eintracht, Son scored another. Højbjerg the provider this time, dinking it to the penalty spot for Son to smash past Trapp. 3-1 Tottenham. They stood on 7 points, one ahead of both Sporting and Marseille. Frankfurt on 4. What a group, eh? Chelsea versus AC Milan, a game that was finished after just 18 minutes, which is never nice to see. I feel for Milan as they are already dealing with an injury crisis, and now they'll be without another one of their starting defenders after Fikayo Tomori was sent off. This is one of those calls where, by the letter of the law, by removing any kind of interpretation at all, it was technically the right call. Does that mean that I like it, or I think that this is how these sorts of situations should be dealt with? No. So where Tomori went wrong, I guess, is by putting his hands on the shoulder of Mason Mount on 2 occasions. Most of the time, this will not get called, and the referee will tell the attacker to just get up if they flop like that. You see it all the time, especially because they were quick touches and releases from Tomori, rather than truly pulling Mount back. They're just more like a grab and let go. There have been many referees, former and current, who have commented on the situation saying that it was overly harsh and they personally wouldn't have called it. In fact, and many wouldn't agree with this, I'm sure. But if we were to go back in time and you were to ask Chelsea supporters what they think of the play had the referee not called it there, I can guarantee you that a large population of them would say that they were annoyed that Mount went down so easily when he could have just had an opportunity at goal. So yeah, I get what the referee was doing, but it felt like an extremely severe punishment. A penalty and a red card, double jeopardy, and Milan go down a goal and a man after just 18 minutes. Jorginho, of course, converted. Later in that first half, Aubameyang finished off a nice little attacking move. He dropped deep to collect the ball, then surged forward to finish it off, right off of the boot of Sterling, really. 2-0 Chelsea, and they'll be overjoyed with double over Milan. They'll be even happier with the fact that Salzburg and Dinamo Zagreb played out a 1-1 draw. No goal for Okafor this time, as he failed to find the back of the net for the first match of this campaign, and that draw ensures this group is still incredibly tight. Chelsea on 7 points, but it looks as though they'll be going right to the final match day to sort things out. As you can see here, still a lot of sorting. Shakhtar Donetsk played an incredible match against Real Madrid. A massive applause to them for how they troubled the defending champions. But as expected, it was largely Real Madrid that were buzzing all over the Shakhtar side as they played in Poland on Tuesday night. Rodrigo, Valverde et al. Had strikes that tested the keeper. None of them were truly incredible opportunities for Real, but the way which they were creating the chances was fun to watch, wasn't it? It was all back heels and flicks in the build-up. It was lovely. In the second half, Ferland Mendy misjudged the cross, I guess, or messed up his footing or something. I don't know what it was, but it was pretty, well, sounds mean, but pathetic looking from the defender, whom you know is absolutely capable of better. A mistake from him, and for a while there, Shakhtar had the better chances. Lassina Traore, here's looking at you as he hit it off of the crossbar. A long strike bounced in front of Lunin in Real Madrid's goal. There were opportunities for the Ukrainian side to double their lead. They really could have made it 2-0 on a few occasions in that second half, but you don't take those opportunities against a side like Real Madrid, and you risk losing what you have achieved thus far in the match. A hoofed ball into the box thought Antonio Rudiger just barely beat the keeper to it to nod it in off of the post, which came at quite the cost to him. Quite the bloody face for Rudiger, some stitches, but apparently he is all good, which is nice to hear as it was gruesome to say the least. 1-1, Shakhtar were warriors, Real were Real though, and yeah, they get that draw at the death. Timo Werner was at the heart of RB Leipzig's second half surge that saw them win 2-0, but again, Celtic will leave disappointed given the quality of opportunities that they spurned once again. They had a strike from distance in the 27th minute that hit the post, and with the goal at his mercy, Taylor hit the bar. Kyogo had a free header that he put over, etc. There were opportunities for Celtic. They just get shot shy in the Champions League for some reason. But yes, Werner with a goal and an assist for the win, and as you can see, it is quite tight in Group F. Real on 10, Leipzig and Shakhtar on 6 and 5 respectively. Celtic on 0, man, just like Rangers. The Scottish teams wanting this to be over as soon as possible. Manchester City had a weird game. Frustrating would be the word if you're a City supporter, as they had Rodri's disallowed goal, they had a penalty saved by Rabona, and then they had Gomez sent off. That's a pretty brutal first half, no? They tried to pepper the goal as well, but just nothing was working for them. So 0-0 the final in Copenhagen. Borussia Dortmund were also left frustrated against Sevilla. Last week when they beat Sevilla, it was the end of Julen Lopetegui. So they were staring down the barrel of Sampaoli this week. A much improved performance from Sevilla. The players have spoken about how Sampaoli has been able to impose his style on them so quickly within a training session. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop under him. Too little too late in this group, you feel, but we'll probably catch them in the Europa League. It's all playing out how they like. Unless Copenhagen gets the better of them, of course. Also, a quick shout out to Jude Bellingham, who has now scored 4 goals in 4 matches in the Champions League. The 19-year-old is just so good, man. As I was saying, it will be tough for Sevilla, but not impossible, as you can see here with the standings. Well, pretty close to impossible, I gotta say. They would need wins against both City and Copenhagen while hoping that Dortmund don't pick up a single point. Juve, man, another shocking performance for them, but I just don't know what else to say about them anymore. It's so obvious what the issue is. Glaringly obvious. The players know it. I'm sure the manager even knows it by now. I'm sure he's self-aware. The board certainly know it, but they are handcuffed at the moment by Allegri's payout that would follow sacking him if they sacked him during this season. Anyway, Juve lost away to Maccabi Haifa, which we got to give the home side credit for something. They are very difficult to play against at home, and PSG would have felt this as well. They aren't some pushovers as they demonstrated in their qualifying campaign. Yes, they struggle away, but their home atmosphere makes things difficult for teams, gives them that extra boost on the pitch. The defending for Juve was all over the place once again. My God, are Juve horrible at defending at the moment. Failed clearance from McKennie, then a curling ball into the box for Atzili to head or shoulder in. He ghosted in all alone, revenge for those 2 times he hit the woodwork in Turin, and they nearly made it 2-0 moments later, but the strike from Sherry went off the bar from a free kick. Maccabi doubled their lead later. I mean, just look at this. A giveaway in midfield, 5 Maccabi Haifa attackers against 3 defenders. Should never happen, man. 2-0 Maccabi, and it should have been more. Benfica and PSG played out another stalemate that was relatively even once again. No Messi this time, no Neres for Benfica, and we definitely looked limited at times in the attack. Neymar was pretty quiet once again besides that little sombrero moment he had when he beat a few players, while Mbappe, allegedly unhappy, was at the heart of all things dangerous for PSG. Once again, the expected goals was almost even for these two sides. Both sides scored from penalties, blatant penalties, easy calls for the ref, and both sides remain undefeated across all competitions. So as we check the standings for Group H, a win in either of their final 2 matches will be enough for both Benfica and PSG to go through, as the Europa League spot looks like the main battleground in this group, but who knows what will happen, right? Alright guys, thanks for watching. No Champions League next week. That frees up some space on the publishing calendar to work on something new. Thanks for watching. Take care.